Summer is so warm and beautiful, but it is also so busy. It is full of trips, vacations, late nights, lots of outdoor activities, gardening. But as the seasons change, November feels like an invitation to slow down, tuck ourselves back inside, and enjoy some simple, cozy rhythms of being home again. So today, I'm bringing you along for an ordinary homemaking day with my newborn and my other 4 kids, filled with cozy November moments and the simple work of caring for my home and family. Does it smell good?
Yeah.
Ready? Pour it. Can you pour it with me?
And some. Where?
Right here. Push it. And push that one. Good job.
You go, Gummy.
This pig made a house of hay. Huff and puff, the wolf blew it down. This pig made a house of sticks. Huff and puff, the wolf blew it down.
Although the November days are darker, my mornings are starting even earlier with feeding a newborn and having a little one that has gotten up earlier than he normally does, which means that my husband and I's 4:30 morning starts are no longer a thing, and instead of doing Bible time with my husband, I am now doing it with my children. And although I've been learning to be flexible in pretty much all areas of homemaking and homeschool, with trying to get things done and entertaining the children while being inside more, one thing that I have continued to prioritize is cooking from scratch. I have been working really hard on trying to cook on a budget and really making everything from our snacks to dinner to breads, doughs. And I have been doing that for a while, but I decided that I didn't want that to go by the wayside while having a newborn. I would just take her along with me as I mill my flour. I knead my dough. Sometimes I have to be more patient with getting meals done and prepped than before. But the main thing that I've been trying to do is really utilize the time that I have when the kids are playing, when she is sleeping, when she is in her swing, trying to utilize that time and really not fall into idleness, which can be something really easy to do when you are sleep deprived and have a lot going on. When you have that little moment where you think, I should just relax and lay on the couch. But for me personally, that is never good for me. It is better for me to use that time wisely and be productive. So I am currently making some whole wheat banana chocolate chip English muffins. I do have this recipe up on my website at faithfulacresfarmhouse.com. And along with making that, because she is in the wrap and is sleeping and my kids are playing, I decided to also make my sourdough whole wheat rolls. Along with November being an invitation for me to slow down, it's also been an invitation for me to invite my kids in when making food, whether that is banana bread, dough, pizza, tacos, whatever it is, I have been trying to invite them in and trying to teach them how to cook. We go over measurements and just letting go of trying to get everything done quickly and quote unquote perfectly. We cannot underestimate the power and impact that cooking alongside our children has. The day we are celebrating is Martinmas. Can you say Martinmas? Okay, so he is from France, and it says, what kind of a soldier is this? And one day when the army rode into town, Martin saw a beggar, that's someone who's poor, who was wanting money, shivering cold on the side of the road. Martin jumped down from his horse, took off his thick army cloak, and sliced it in two with his sword. Then he gave one piece to the shivering beggar and rode off, only wearing half of his cloak.
He gave half of his clothes to a beggar.
He did. He shared half of his cloak to a beggar. Why do you think he did that?
Because he wanted to be nice and follow God.
He did. He wanted to follow the kindness of Jesus, and the beggar was cold. And so he gave him his cloak so that he could be warm. All over. Spread it all over.
Ta-da!
Good job, Fiend.
I did what exactly you told me. I don't need very much good. Said.
Good job, Declan. That looks really good. For our homeschool, we learned about St. Martin of Tours for St. Martin's feast day. And we made lanterns because we are to be like St. Martin and be the light of Christ for all to see. We want our light to shine. We want to help others. We want to follow in the footsteps of Jesus and in others that are doing Jesus's work and his will, and really let our light of love for Jesus and for others shine brightly for all to see. Even though I used yeast for my banana chocolate chip English muffins, I have been doing stretch and folds with them like you do with sourdough. And it actually works really well, helps develop the gluten beautifully. To my sourdough rolls, I'm also adding in the melted butter, the salt, and the maple syrup. You can also do honey. At first, I just mix the starter water and flour. And then after about 30 minutes, I go ahead and add those other ingredients and knead it up until it is nice and smooth. I allowed these English muffins to have a bulk rise. I did 2 to 3 stretch and folds during that bulk rise. And now I am just rolling them out using a pint glass and just cutting them into little circles. I sprinkled some cornmeal down, and then I'm just going to take my cast iron skillet on low. For my stove, they get really hot, so I have to turn them off, turn them back on, turn them off, turn them back on. But you want to cook them for about 5 minutes on each side, and then I bake them in the oven at 300 degrees for an additional 5 minutes. You kind of have to just watch and see. Your English muffins might cook fully on the stovetop, but because mine gets so hot, it ends up kind of just burning the top more and then not cooking the inside because I have to remove them. So it just depends on what kind of pan you have and if you can get your stove to be at a very low temperature. I'm also going to be shaping my sourdough whole wheat rolls. I am making 12 rolls, and I just shape them into little balls and allow them lots of time to rise. I allow them to rise for around 1 to 2 hours until they are fluffy, doubled in size, and then I just bake them at 375 degrees for around 20 minutes. For food and cooking, what I try to do is get as much done first thing in the morning as I can. I find that I have the most energy. Then the kids have had breakfast. They're kind of running around playing before we start school. That is kind of the time that I try to prep lunch, prep dinner, try to get everything in order. I try and get all of my doughs going. And I don't necessarily have a plan. I just try to make what I can when I can. So I started in the morning. Then I did homeschool. I do laundry throughout, try and tidy up. I have to nurse the baby, rock her, snuggle her. And so I don't want to spend so much time in the kitchen, but I do want to prioritize making wholesome meals that will be medicine for my family. I try to either have the kids in here with me or utilize the time that they are playing, moving and grooving, going outside. That is my time that I try to prep as much as I can, whether that's cutting up vegetables, cutting up fruit, getting doughs going, meal planning, trying to order groceries, whatever it may be. I try to utilize that time to make it easier for myself. Another thing I like to do is if there isn't any food that can be prepped at the time, I try and set the table, get the glasses out. I pour milks, get those going, set them in the fridge. I really just try to do little things throughout the day to make it easier for me during dinner time. I know for our family, around 4 o'clock is not the best time. It seems like kids are needy. They are hungry. We are trying to tidy up the house. And so trying to get all of the food prepped and done then, I know will just make it so much more stressful. So really try and utilize the time, those little windows that you have. Another thing I've really been trying to do is simplify my meals. I have been trying to focus on having protein, carbs, and vegetables. With fruit being out of season, I have been having to get creative with getting fruit, making things with fruit, because they do have so much nutritional benefits, and it's not something that I want to just skip, not giving my kids fruit, but having to utilize frozen fruit and smoothies and get creative in those ways while still keeping it simple. And so I have been doing a ton of soups. It's a great way to get your proteins and vegetables in, bone broths, chicken broths, and just something that you can throw together in the morning, midday, right before you have to serve it. It's also easy in the sense that you are able to just allow it to simmer for however long, whether it's in the crock pot or on the stove. And so you can start it and walk away and go do some things. Soups are really just an easy, affordable, and delicious way to serve nutritious foods to your family. I have talked about our laundry system and setup on here many times before, but keeping that simple has been so nice, because doing one load of laundry a day, or at least trying to, and really minimalizing our wardrobes, everything that the kids have from shorts, pajamas, pants, dresses, and keeping it simple so that I can just move clothes from the washer to the dryer, from the dryer into their drawers. Everyone has a drawer. Everything's on the main level. I hang up shirts, I hang up dresses, and it just makes it easy and organized. We have also been bundling up so that we can go outside even during the days that are windy and chilly. And even though it was 60 a few days this past week, it is currently snowing as I am doing this voiceover. So the weather is changing, but no matter the weather, I will try to get the kids outside, and I just bundle Ruth up. I continue to wear her and then add a hat, little mittens, little stockings on her feet, and then zip my coat up around her. I made some cheeseburger stew to go with my rolls. This was super simple, super delicious, and then the kids really enjoyed lighting their lanterns. A good reminder for us to always let our light of Christ shine.